So, dear students, today we are going to discuss about Gauss root squaring method. So, here in this method, the Gauss root squaring method transforms the nth degree polynomial p of x into another polynomial of the same degree whose roots are the squares of the original polynomial. Means we assume that we have a nth degree polynomial p of x. Okay, so that p of x is transformed into another polynomial with the same degree. That is, we have another polynomial, say p1 of x, whose degree is also n. That one is an nth degree polynomial. But the difference is the roots of the nth degree polynomial p1 of x is the square of the roots of nth degree polynomial p of x. Means that one is square. So please note we are transforming p of x into p1 of x, where the roots of p1 of x are the squares of the roots of p of x. Okay, and we are continuing that. Then we are transforming p1 of x to p2 of x, that p2 of x to p3 of x, etc., etc. So what is happening after each transformation? The roots are squaring. Okay, so we are, by using Gauss method, we are finding the roots of the original polynomial by transforming the given polynomial into a new polynomial, or we are transforming a number of transformations that we are going to apply, so that the after transformation, if the roots are separated or if the roots are far away from the remaining roots, then by using the coefficients we can find the value of root. Okay, and it will be accurate. If please note, by using coefficients we can find the root if the roots are separated or far away from the remaining roots. Okay, but please note, we can find the roots by using Gauss method if the roots are greater, if the magnitude of roots are greater than 1. Otherwise we can't find it, and it must be a distinctive roots, distinctive real roots. Otherwise we can't apply Gauss roots. Okay. Okay, so using an example we can explain Gauss root squaring method. So for that purpose, assume that we have a third degree polynomial, that is p of x is equal to x minus 1 into x plus 2 into x minus 3. So what are the roots? Here in this form we can easily find the root, but in real case the polynomial will be some algebraic form like x raised to 3 plus 2x plus 3, something like that. So for explaining purpose, I am going to take this particular form where the roots are minus 1 comma plus 1 comma minus 2 comma plus 3. So these are the roots of p. These are the roots of p. Okay, so now what is p of minus x? P of minus x means replace x with minus x. So we have p of minus x is equal to minus of x minus 1 into minus of x plus 2 into minus of x minus 3. So do one thing, from all terms take minus 1 to outside. So if you are taking minus 1 from this bracket, what we have? Minus 1 into x plus 1. From this one we have minus 1 into x minus 2. Here we have minus 1 into x plus 3. So we have 3 minus 1. So minus 1 raised to 3 into x plus 1 into x minus 2 into x plus 3. So p of minus x is equal to minus 1 all raised to 3 into x plus 1 into x minus 2 into x plus 3. So now multiply p of x and p of minus x. What we have? You can see that we have minus 1 raised to 3 outside. Now this is x minus 1, this is x plus 1. So this is something a plus b into a minus b form, that is a square plus b square. So we have x square minus 1 square. What about these two terms? Again a square minus b square. So this is x square minus 2 square. What about these two terms? X square minus 3 square. So p of x into p of minus x, that is equal to minus 1 all raised to 3 into x square minus 1 square into x square minus 2 square into x square minus 3 square. So here the interesting thing is, if you are finding the root, this minus 1 all raised to 3 is not an important one. So accept this minus 1 all raised to 3. Disregard this minus 1 all raised to 3. Accept this term, the remaining term, we can take it as P1 of x. So this is P1 of x. Okay. So replacing, removing minus 1 from this term. And one more thing we have to take. Then we can equate this one to P1 of x. This replace x square with x. So replace this term with x. Okay. This term with x. Replace this term with x. So now we can write P1 of x is equal to P of x into P of minus x at x square with x square replaced with x. So we have, you can see that x minus 1 into x minus 1 into, what is this one? X minus 2 square, that is x minus 4 into x minus 9. Is it okay? So what are the roots? So from this term, what are the roots? You can see that with P1 is equal to P of x into P of minus x, where x square is replaced with x, we have the roots of P1 are then 1 square, right, 2 square, right, 3 square. So what is the comparison between these two? You can see that the roots of P1 is the square of roots of P. This is 1 minus 2, 3. Here we have 1 square, 2 square, 3 square. 2 square means minus 2 square also. 3 square. Is it okay? So now we are not going to stop this transformation. Now from P1, so now we are not going to stop here. We are going to continue our transformation. So from P, so now we have P1. Okay. So how we got P1? From P. P is a third degree polynomial. So from P we got P1. That one is also a third degree polynomial. So please note, after each transformation, the degree of polynomial must be same. Only the roots are squaring. Okay. So now P1 is a third degree polynomial. So from P1 we are going to find P2. Can you say how can we do that? Take P2 of x is equal to P1 of x into P1 of minus x, where x square is replaced with x. So same expression. The only difference is here we have P2, here we have P1 of x, here we have P1 of minus x. So from this calculation, we can calculate P2 of x, that is equal to P1 of x into P1 of minus x, where x square is replaced with x. So from P2 we can find P3, etc., etc. Finally, we have Pi plus 1 of x is equal to Pi of x into Pi of minus x, where x square is replaced with x. So this is a polynomial. And what about the roots? So I told you P1 we have 1 square, 2 square, 3 square. Is it okay? So what about P2? P2 we have the square of roots of P1. So 1 square, that is 1 raised to 4, or we can write it as, okay, 1 raised to 4, 2 raised to 4, then 3 raised to 4. Or we can write this one as, for convenience, we can write it as 1 raised to 2 raised to 2, 2 raised to 2 raised to 2, 3 raised to 2 raised to 2. Am I correct? So P2 means here 1 raised to 2 raised to 2, 2 raised to 2 raised to 2, 3 raised to 2 raised to 2. So what about Pi? What about Pi? Pi is equal to the roots of, after ith transformation, Pi is equal to 1 raised to 2 raised to I, 2 raised to 2 raised to I, 3 raised to 2 raised to I. So this one will be the root of Pi. So from Pi, can we find the roots of P? Definitely. If the roots of pi are a, b, c, if the roots of pi are a, b, c, then we can find the root of p, that is nothing but 2 raised to ith square root of a, 2 raised to ith root of b, 2 raised to ith root of c. So through example you can understand that. So here you can see that the polynomial p of x that is given is a very simple one. What about the general case? After discussing that, we can solve a problem. Okay. So in actual case, the given polynomial will not be in factored form. So say p of x is equal to a0 x raised to n plus a1 x raised to n minus 1 plus etc. plus an. So this one is the actual polynomial. So we are continuing our passion. Find p of minus x by replacing x with minus x. Then find p1 of x, that is equal to p of x into p of minus x, where x square is replaced with x. Okay. So now say for explanatory purpose, p1 of x is something a10 x raised to n plus a11 x raised to n minus 1 plus etc. plus an. Okay. So say this is p1 of x. p1 of x equal to a10 x raised to n plus a11 x raised to n minus 1 plus etc. plus a1n. So my question is, what is its root? Its root, by using coefficients we can find the roots. It will not be accurate, but by using coefficients we can find. So the method is, take, for example, one root will be this a1n divided by a1n minus 1. One root will be a1n divided by a1n minus 1. That is last coefficient divided by the second last coefficient, comma. Next one is a1n minus 1 divided by a1n minus 2. This is the next root of p1. Now etc. The last root is a11, that is second coefficient, divided by a10. So this one is a root of p1. So what about the root of p? Take the square root, because I told you the root of p1 is a square of root of p. So what about the root of p from p1? Take the square root. So this is the root of p. But I told you, if you are calculating roots by using this method, it will be accurate if and only if the roots are far away from the remaining roots. If the roots are real, distinctive and far away from the remaining roots, this one will be the accurate one. But please note, if you are calculating the roots from p1, maybe it may not be far away from the remaining roots. So what we have to do? We have to make it far away from the remaining roots. So for the purpose, we are taking the square. So if you are taking p2, so take p2. So p2 of x, what is p2 of x? p2 of x is p1 of x into p1 of minus x, at where x square is replaced with x. So say we can write it as a20, this 2 means corresponding to p2, then this 0 means the coefficient of x raised to n, okay, plus a21 x raised to n minus 1 plus etc. plus a to n. So what about its roots? The roots of this p2 is, first what we have to do, take the last one, a to n, then divide by its second last one, a to n minus 1, semicolon, this is a to n minus 1. Now what about the next one? Second last one, a to n minus 1 divided by a to n minus 2. Okay, etc. etc. The last one is the second component. Second component is a to 1. 2 is separate, 1 is separate, divided by a to 0. If you want, you can put a comma between 2 and 0, 2 and 1. Okay, that is understandable. So this is a root of p2. So what about the root of p1? If root of p2 is a square of p1, then what about the root of p1? Square root of p2. So square root of this one is the root of p1. So what about p1 0? The root of p is the square root of p1. So this is root of p1. So its square root is p. Means put one more square root. So we can represent it as square root 2 raised to 2. 2 raised to 2. So like that way we are continuing. Okay. So I told you the roots, we can calculate the roots of p of x from the roots of p1 of x by your p1 of x, or indirectly we can find the roots of p of x by using the coefficients of p1 of x. Okay, so I told you, say p1 of x is equal to a1 comma 0 x raised to n plus a1 comma 1 x raised to n minus 1 plus etc. plus a1 comma n. This 1 corresponds to the first transformation, that is p1. Then this 0, second one, second and etc. corresponding to the coefficients of x raised to n to x raised to 0 respectively. So by using these coefficients we can find the roots of the original polynomial. So that is, so the roots of p from the coefficients of p1 is square root of absolute value of a1 comma j divided by a1 comma j minus 1 for j equal to 1 comma 2 comma etc. n. Is it okay? So this one is the roots of p from the coefficients of p1 of x. So after each transformation we need more square root. So after kth transformation or after kth iteration we have pk of x, that is equal to pk minus 1 of x into pk minus 1 of minus x, where x square is replaced with x. Pk minus 1 means the polynomial after k minus 1th iteration. So find pk minus 1 of minus 1, multiply these two, then replace x square with x. If there any minus term, minus 1 raised to k term, remove that. Okay, so this is pk of x. So for convenience, say pk of x is equal to ak comma 0 x raised to n plus ak comma 1 x raised to n minus 1 plus etc. plus ak comma n. So this is the nth degree polynomial pk of x after kth iteration. Okay, so we can find the root of original polynomial. Actually we can't find the root of original, we can find the absolute value of original polynomial. We can find the absolute value of root of original polynomial by using the coefficient of pk of, and that is the 2 raised to kth square root of magnitude of ak comma j divided by ak comma j minus 1 for j equal to 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma etc. k. Okay, so we can use this equation to find the root. So note down this equation. This one is a kth iteration. So through example, I think we can explain more how to do this Graf's root square method. Okay. So before that, you have to note two important points. First one is this method can't be used. Please note, this method can't be used for the roots whose absolute values are less than 1. Means we can find the roots whose absolute value is greater than 1. That is first thing that we have to remember. And second important point is this method can't also be used for multiple roots with same real value. Okay, we can't use this method to find the multiple roots with the same real value. Means we can't find the multiple root, we can't find the complex root because complex root have the same real value. Okay, so we are going to do a problem. Find the roots of p of x is equal to x cube minus 3x square minus 6x plus 8. So this one is a third degree polynomial. So how to do that? So take this p of x is equal to x cube minus 3x square minus 6x plus 8. Now what we have to do? Find p of minus x. So how to do that? Replace x with minus x. So what will happen? If you are replacing x with minus x, the sign of the x cube, x raised to 1, etc. will change. The sign of x square, the constant term, etc. will not change. The x with an even power, its sign will not change. The x with odd power, its sign will change. So here you can see that p of minus x is equal to minus x cube minus 3x square plus 6x plus 8. So what is p1 of x? What is p of x into p of minus x? P of x into p of minus x is, if you are multiplying these two, you can see that this is minus x raised to 6 plus 21 x raised to 4 minus 84 x square plus 64. How to do that? How to multiply these two? This is p of x, that is 1, that is coefficient 3, right? Okay, this is 1, then minus 3, then minus 6, then 8. Okay, and what about p of minus x? That is minus 1, minus 3, then plus 6, then plus 8. Right? So now multiply it. 8 into 8, 64. Right? 8 into minus 6, minus 48. 8 into minus 3, minus 24. 8 into 1, 8. Now what about 6? 6 into 8, 48. Right? 6 into minus 6, minus 36. Okay. 6 into minus 3, what we have? Minus 18. Is it okay? 6 into minus 3. 6 into 1, 6. Okay. Now take minus 3. Minus 3 into 8, minus 24. Minus 24. Minus 3 into minus 6, plus 80. Minus 3 into minus 3, 9. Minus 3 into 1, minus 3. What is left? Now minus 1. So minus 1 into minus 8, minus 8. Minus 1 into minus 6, plus 6. Minus 1 into minus 3, plus 3. Minus 1 into minus 1, sorry, minus 1 into plus 1, minus 1. So what is this value? This is 64. This is cancelled, so 0. This is minus 24, minus 36, minus 24. So that is minus 84, right? Minus 84. Then 8 and minus 8 are cancelled. Minus 18 and 8 plus 18, that is cancelled. So this is 0. Then 6, 9, 15, 6, 21. then minus 3 and 3 are cancelled, then minus 1. So you can see that if you are multiplying p of x and p of minus x, alternatively you can 0 always. If it is not so, definitely some mistake is there in our calculation. Okay, so this is our thing. So this is what p of x into p of x minus x. So x raised to 0, x raised to 1, x raised to 2, x raised to 3, x raised to 4, x raised to 5, x raised to minus 6. So what we have? Minus x raised to 6 plus 21 x raised to 4 minus 84 x raised to 2 then plus 64. So that is shown here. So this is p of x. Okay. Now what we have to do? We have to take minus 1 to outside, then replace x square with x. So we have p1 of x. So as it is a third degree polynomial, indirectly we are taking minus 1 raised to 3, means that is minus 1. So minus 1 to outside, then p of x into p of minus x, where x square replaced with x. So we have minus sign is removed. So x raised to 3, this 6 will become 3, x raised to 3. Minus 1 is removed, so minus 21 x raised to 2. Then minus sign is removed, so plus 84x. Minus sign is removed, so minus 64. That is this one. So x raised to 3 minus 21 x raised to 2 plus 84x minus 64. So this is p1. Now by using the coefficients of this one, find the root of p. What are the coefficient? First root is, because this is p1, so 2 raised to 1, so that is square root p1. Absolute value, we are taking the absolute value, so 21 divided by 1, that is 1 root, 21 divided by 1. Next one is 84 divided by 21, we are taking the magnitude only, so square root of 84 divided by 21. Next one is square root of 64 divided by 84. These are the square root. So we can check that. So roots from the first polynomial are, r1 is equal to root of 64 divided by 84, that is equal to 0.8729. Second one is r2 is equal to root of 84 divided by 21, that is equal to 2. Then third one is root of 21 divided by 1, so that is 4.5826. And if you are substituting these values, you can see that these two value will not give 0 here. This p of x will not be 0 at these 2 points. But if you are substituting 2 means 8 minus 12, then minus 12, it is again not 0. But if you are substituting minus 2, this is minus 8, then minus 12, minus 20, right? Then this is plus 12 plus 8. So you can see that this one is 0. So minus 2 is a root. So I told you, by using Graf's root square method, it is giving the absolute value. So you can see that minus 2 is the actual value. So one root we got, but the remaining root is not. So we have to continue. So from this p1 of x, we have to find p2 of x. How to do that? So now what is p1 of x? p1 of x is x cube minus 21x square plus 84x minus 64. So now find p1 of minus x. So this is p1 of minus x. So here a minus x is there. So that is minus x cube minus 21x square minus 84x minus 64. So from this we have to find p1 of x into p1 of minus x. So that is this one. So you can use that multiplication method. So p1 of x into p1 of minus x is minus x raised to 6 plus 273 x raised to 4 minus 4368 x square plus 4096. So this is this product. So now what is p2 of x? p2 of x is equal to minus 1 raised to 3 p1 of x into p1 of minus x, where x square is replaced with x. So remove minus 1 here, so x raised to 3, remove minus 1, so we have minus 273 x square, remove minus 1, So we have plus 4368x, remove minus 1, so we have minus 4096. So this is actually minus. This is minus. So from second polynomial P2 of x, how to find the root? So roots from the second polynomial are, first one is double square root, 2 raised to 2, 2 raised to square root of this. We are taking the absolute value, so 4096 divided by 4368, so that is first one. So you can see that that is 0.9841. Then R2 is equal to second square root of 4368 divided by 273, that is equal to 2. Then third square root is equal to second square root of this 273 divided by 1, that is 4.0648. You can see that this is still 2, means that one is already converged, so it will not change. But these two are changing, means it is converging to a particular value. Once this is constant, then you can stop this method. Okay. So now we are going to continue. So now what is P2 of x? P2 of x is equal to x cube minus 273x square plus 4368x minus 4096. So this is P2 of x. Now what we have to do? Find P2 of minus x. Find P2 of minus x. So that is equal to minus x cube minus 273x square minus 4368x minus 4096. So this is P2 of minus x. So we can find its product, P2 of x into P2 of minus x. Okay. Then after finding that, we can replace x square with x. So please note, P3 of x is equal to x cube minus 65793x square plus 1684308x minus 16777,216. Okay. So now from this P3 we can find the root of P. So roots from this polynomial, this third polynomial is, first one, third square root of this value divided by this one. Okay, so third square root of this one divided by this one, so that is 0.9995. Now next one is third square root of this value divided by this value, so that is 2. Okay, and third one is the third square root of this one divided by 1, so that is this one. Okay, so you can see that this is converging to some value. We have that feeling. I think this is converging to 1, this is already converged, this is converging to 4. Okay, but anyway it is not converged. I am stopping here, but actually you have to do 2 or 3 more steps, so it will definitely give 1, 2 and 4. So I am stopping here. So from this one, if you are substituting these values, that is 0.995, 2, 4 respectively into this equation, you have P of 0.9995 is equal to 0.0045. So this one is very small. Actually it is not negligible. I told you we have to continue this one, 2 more iterations we require. But at this point this is small, not very small, this is small. So definitely this is very near to 1 root. So that value is 1. Now next one is P of 2. So you can see that P of 2 is not equal to 0, it is minus a. If it is not equal to 0, don't stop there. You have to check whether P of minus 2 is equal to 0 or small. So take P of minus 2. So P of minus 2 equal to 0. It is not small, it is 0 itself. So this is the real root, P of minus 2. Now substitute this 4.0020. So P of 4.0020, that is 0.036. If you are substituting P of minus 4.0020, that one is a big value. So definitely this 4.0020 is very close to the actual root. Actually it is 4. If you are substituting 4, it will give 0. Okay. So here with a big inaccuracy, I am concluding the numerical roots are 0.9995, comma minus 2, comma 4.0020. This one is inaccurate value. This much inaccuracy is there. This one is the inaccuracy, but I am concluding this one. So you have to continue this one. I think 2 more iterations are required. Okay.